Leo. Welcome to April. So, Leo, it's going to be a good month for you because the sun has moved into the fire sign of Aries, where it will stay until April 19th. And that is making a positive trine with you, a positive triangle. So, Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, and Mars is the action planet. So, Aries wants to rear forward, full speed ahead, and you are going to be making a positive triangle with the sun, which is your ruling planet, right? We call the sun and moon planets in astrology. So not only will you have a trine with the sun being in the sign of Aries, because you make a positive triangle with all fire signs, but also that's your ruling planet. So this should bring you smoother energy. Also, the planet Neptune just moved into the sign of Aries at the end of March. So Neptune, the planet of creativity, the planet, the great healer, the planet of illusion and delusion, but also the planet of like clarity. Sometimes when we're in the fogginess, we can get a vision, right? So a lot of creative energy and a lot of get up and go to get things done. Now, on the 18th of the month, Mars, the planet of action, is finally going to move out of the sign of Cancer, where it's been for way too long. Mars usually hangs out in a sign for like 4-6 weeks. This time it hung out in Cancer for 6 months, and that was because of all the retrogrades going on. So Mars entering your sign on the 18th, it's going to be go time for you, and I think you're going to be really happy about that. You do have a square going on with the planet Pluto because Pluto is hanging out. It's actually not a square, it's an opposition because you, Leo, are always across from the 11th house, which is Aquarius's house, right? Aquarius is your opposite. So Pluto's hanging out in Aquarius. It's going to be there for about 19 more years. So you have a square going on there, a little bit more of a challenge. And you also have a square going on with Uranus, the oh wow planet. Anything can happen in this sign of Taurus, which is a fixed sign, and you are a fixed sign, Leo, so you make a 90-degree angle. So you've got some challenges there, but you've got a lot of get up and go. Now, the moon will be in your sign of Leo. So we'd like to look and see, I like to see. I find that when the moon's in one of my signs, usually my sun or my moon, I feel more like myself, right? And the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So from Sunday, April 6th at 12:34 a.m. through Monday through Tuesday, the 8th until 9:40 a.m., the moon will be in your sign, Leo. So see how you feel on those days and see how good you feel. Let's see what else. Okay, now let's pick a couple theme cards for you this month. Let's see what you need to know. Then we're going to go through this zodiac wheel and go through all the houses so we can see what's going on in each area of your life, because the beautiful zodiac wheel pretty much covers all the areas of our life. Okay, we have one runaway card here, and it is your Beltane Oracle. Okay, Seasons of the Witch, Beltane Oracle. We know we have the pagan holiday of Beltane this month, and we know that Beltane is the pagan celebration of fertility, of spring, of the goddess and the god, or the green man and the goddess. There's a lot of different references to it. And your Beltane card is milk and butter. Let the silk off one's flesh. I am the giver. I am your eternal. Let me read that again. Like the silk off one's flesh, I am the giver. I am your eternal. Milk and butter. Wow. Very, got a lot of sensual vibes there for you, Leo. Okay, let's see what your other cards are here. So your first card from the Herb Crafter's Tarot is the Madre of Water, Oats, or this is the Queen of Cups. Okay, now oats is considered one of those plants that's very calming. All right, I think it's called milky oats is one of the ways that I've heard it referenced. So the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Water, the Madre of Water. Let's see what the book has to say about it. It says, let the Mother of Water soothe your soul, release anxiety by nourishing body and spirit, open your heart and let your intuition flow. It says that the Madre of Water is a master of self-care. She is kind and gracious to others because she is kind and gracious to herself. Okay. So she understands the power of oat straw and delights in the calming medicine it provides. So this is oat straw. It's not just, I think that's part of oats, right? We rolled oats, but I think this is part of it. And it also says take an oatmeal bath to nourish the body. So it's definitely part of the oats, but there is something very calming about it. Okay. So you got milk and butter, and you've got oats, and you've got this like flowing, watery energy. So it's a great month for baths for you and lots of gentleness. You've got the Two of Wands here. And this card came up earlier. I couldn't tell what that creature is. I don't know if that's a hippopotamus or what the heck that is, but there's some water creature there. And only if you were at the right moment here would you see it. It's a Two of Fire, so it's a relationship number. It's showing just kind of this epic moment. Okay, more water. And you got the Witch card. And this is traditionally the Magician. So you've got the Witch here, card number 1. And the Magician, I think of it as ruled by Scorpio, so it'll be even more water. But she's kind of cooking up her blend here. Almost like she's got the tea kettle going, right? The little pot going there. She's making her magic there. So there's a lot here about kind of and it's kind of got a lot of food vibes between the cup of the oats, like the tea, and it's got the witch cooking in her cauldron and the milk and butter. So it's like really cooking up some good vibes in your relationships with the Two of Wands. Okay. These cards are going to go up here. So the strongest card that's shown up for you so far is the Witch or the Magician, okay? And so we know that the Magician also is considered to be ruled associated with the sign Gemini, and so sometimes it can be the trickster. So keep that in mind also. Now we're going to take some cards here and we're going to put one onto each zodiac house and see what you need to know this month, Leo. Okay, we're starting off at the first house here, which is Aries house. It has to do with your public image. It's associated with the term I am. And you show up as the Queen of Wands, okay? So a fire queen, you are a fire sign, Leo. And so you're showing up as your true self. Now, she's an interesting Queen of Wands because you usually see the Queen of Wands dressed up a little bit more or on the road. This one's like she's like comfortable in her own power. She's got some plants next to her. She is in control. And so she's being seen as her true self. She's not ashamed of like, you know, her regular kind of clothing there as a queen. She feels like she's queen of her castle. So stepping up into your own public image that you're really comfortable in your own body. Now, the second house is the house of money. Some people call it that. I call it the house of value, all the things that are important to you. It's a Venus house. And you've got an ace showing up here. And it's not just an ace, it's the Ace of Cups. It's the plantain plant, grows by the water there. And plantain, I read about this before. I think it said that it was like very easy to miss the plantain plant or to take it for granted. See what the book says. It says, follow your heart, trust your instincts and intuition. Your capacity for love is limitless. And let's see, the beginning of summer, we've got the plantain growing. And plantain is a prolific yet powerful medicine that is easily missed. To embody the love you desire, you may need to see it in a new light. Okay, so when we're talking about the house of value, and you're talking about, first we're talking kind of about money, right? So it's saying, look at it in a new light. The Ace of Cups is the cup of satisfaction. What is it that what really brings us satisfaction? Okay, sometimes it's just nature. That's kind of what this has a vibe of. It's an ace though, so it's something new, and it's water. It's Ace of Cups. It's the cup of satisfaction showing up in your house of value. That's not a bad place for it. So you're starting off with a queen and an ace. Pretty good. Now, the third house is Gemini's house. It's the house of communication. It talks about how we think, or it has to do with our environment. And you have the Four of Pentacles showing up here. Now we got a little squirrel. He's really resourceful. He's running around getting his pentacles gathered, almost like little acorns, and letting them grow. But the thing about this card, I was reading about this card once, is that he moves so fast, sometimes he forgets where he put things. Okay, so this is the house of your environment. You may be forgetting where you're putting some things, and make sure, kind of keeping better track of what's going on in your environment. Are there things that you're overlooking? Okay, keep that in mind there. Now, in the fourth house, this is the house of the home. This is Cancer's house. It's ruled by the moon. So it's a very intuitive house. It has themes of your family and your root chakra and how you nurture yourself. And you've got the hanged man showing up here, or the hanged woman in this deck. This is Pisces energy. This is the first major arcana that you have showing up, other than the witch back here. That was the magician. So the hanged man asks us, it's a card of divine delay. It asks us to pause, right? We still have a couple planets in Pisces. We still have some creative energy flowing there. And so here it is. It's saying kind of sit back, like she's not hurting. This is like the mystics hung upside down for enlightenment. Okay, she's being held there to look at things a little bit differently. We're already saying look at your money a little bit differently, maybe looking at your home life from a little different perspective, making sure you've gotten enough rest so you can think clearly. Now we go into the fifth house, which is your house, Leo. It's the house of creativity. It's the house of children and romance. I know it's kind of weird that they put children and romance in the same house, but children have so much joy. And we have the Lord of Shadows here. This is the death card showing up, okay? So it's not a literal death. There is a rebirth going on. There's a lot of power here. We see that she sees this man and child walking away, right? So this is the house of children. Maybe you're going through some changes. Maybe you're a parent going through like an empty nest syndrome, or maybe some things have changed. Maybe some people that were fun for you have left your life. Either they have passed, or maybe they've just moved on in their lives. So there's a little bit of like a sense of mourning there, but there's a sense that new things are coming in for you. There's a lot of power when the death card comes in. And remember, the death card symbolizes death, but it also symbolizes rebirth. It symbolizes other people's money. It rules inheritances. It symbolizes sex. Okay, so there is a lot of power here, but I feel like there's a little bit of energy of kind of mourning some things that are no longer with you. Now, the sixth house is the house of work, routines, health. It's Virgo's house. It's a house of service and contribution. And you've got the creativity card here from the Zen Osho Tarot. What a beautiful card. This is card number 3. I think it's supposed to be the Empress. Creativity. I tend to use this deck more as an oracle. So your contribution, the way that you can feel good, is to bask in that creative energy right now. And maybe some of these changes have prompted some of this creativeness. Now, the seventh house is the house of relationships. It's the house of legal matters. It's Libra's house. And you have the strength card showing up. And it literally looks like they're packing up and moving a bunch of stuff. Okay, so you may have, this is a house of like purchasing a new home, purchasing some new property, and he's carrying a lot of stuff here. So I can see this two ways. One could be that you are actually literally moving, packing up and moving some stuff. But the other side of it is that you may just have a lot of baggage with you. And so you may need to look at, are you bringing a lot of baggage into your relationships? This is a Leo card, strength, and this is your reading, Leo. So there's a lot of power there right now in your seventh house. You got major arcanas in the seventh house with a Leo card, and in the fifth house, which is your own house, another major arcana. Those are the strongest cards on the table. They actually go from the fifth house, sixth house, seventh house. That's where the most fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all majors. Now, the eighth house is Scorpio's house. We call it the house of sex, death, and taxes. It also rules, right, the death, the rebirth, the power, the other people's money, all that kind of stuff, okay? And you got the hanged man again. This is the Oak King from this deck. And so you've got a delay here. You're being held there. So between the fourth house, which is one of the psychic watery houses, and the eighth house, another psychic watery house, you got the same card, Pisces card, asking you to slow down, to not push forward as much, even though you're going to want to push forward. They got all this. Um, we saw a lot going on with Mars for you this month, action. But remember, we're in retrograde, so we have to slow down. Even though the Aries energy is going to make us want to prompt forward, it's not time yet till after the 15th of the month. So it's asking you to kind of get the final rest that you need before the spring really hits. Nurture yourself a little bit longer. The ninth house is Sagittarius's house. The higher mind, it's a house of philosophy, of publishing, of teaching, of being a student. The house of religion. It has travel themes to it. And the high priestess shows up. So she is, she's like the female version of the Hierophant, who's usually seen as a priest or some spiritual figure. So you got this very enlightened high priestess energy here in a spiritual house. This is another major arcana or major secret of life card. You've got a lot of them along this right side. Every single card from the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth are all major arcana. So those are where the true lessons lie for you. Okay. I think of the majors as like pointers saying, hey, look at these, look at this. This is where there's energy. So in the ninth house, there is a deep knowing because the high priestess, the energy comes right through her. She feels it. She quiets down. She can make use of the information. Now, the 10th house is Capricorn's house. It has career themes. It has your long-term standing in the world themes. It's a house of your reputation. And you've got the 5 of Cups here. And so we see a change of emotion, and we can see this little creature looks very injured there, but he's moving on from the loss, okay? Across from that, you had, well, that's not true. You had the Death card in the 5th house. The 10th house, you have some things maybe didn't work out. Maybe you had some career things that just didn't work out, but it's asking you to please move on from it. That death is a natural process that animals understand better than we do. And it's showing to move on from the mourning about what didn't work out and to move into what is still available. Now, the 11th house is Aquarius's house of hopes and ideas and goals and dreams. It's also about your social life and your friends. And the Ace of Wands shows up. So we got some new energy there. And Wands is fire. So there's some new passion going on here. So I'm very excited to see Ace there in your house of friends. And you also had an Ace in the 2nd house. So this is your 2nd Ace showing up. Your 12th house is Pisces house. It's a house of retreating back. Has a lot of themes of creativity, but it also has themes of healing because it's Neptune's house. And it has themes of undoing old karma. And you got the Magician. And this is the 2nd time the Magician showed up for you because remember it was up here. So anything is and everything is possible here with the Magician there. I think of this card as ruled by Scorpio. Some people say it's Gemini. And so you've got a lot of power in your 12th house that you can change how things are going. You have the power to do that. The Magician is the alchemist, okay? So you got a lot of majors going on. You got a lot of life lessons that you're learning here. I think that things can move really great for you as long as you're gentle and kind to yourself and really forgiving of yourself. Okay. I don't know what you're holding on to from the past, but there was some mistakes made, some things you overlooked that maybe you're holding yourself to too hard. And this is asking you to let go of that now. Now let's put one card in the middle about how you're going to feel this month overall. And the Empress showed up, and it's the Rose card from the Herb Crafter's Tarot. So this is, let's see, you have the Empress here in the 6th house, which was the house of work, routines, health, Virgo's house. And now for how you feel, you've got the Empress here, the Rose, got little pomegranates and flowers and rose hips and honey. Okay, so and that was, you had milk and butter, now you got honey, you had oats, so go easy, take a lot of baths this month. Maybe put some honey in the bath. I know that sounds weird, but it's really good for the skin. Put some honey in the bath, maybe some roses, maybe even a little oats. Remember they were saying something about taking an oat bath and just savor all the beauty and let yourself off the hook a little bit. Take some time to rest and pause so you're not carrying such a burden, and forgive yourself for whatever happened in with your career. I think there's some things there that you're holding on to and kind of being mean to yourself about. All right, let's roll some dice here. We've got Venus in Cancer in the 10th house. Okay, Venus, which symbolizes harmony, peacemaking. It has themes of relationships and love. It has themes of value and money. And in the sign of Cancer, the watery, nurturing, kind of mom-like energy. Felt a lot of water in this reading. In the 10th house, which is the house of your career. So it's asking you to be in good relationship with yourself. Treat yourself like very tenderly, like the way that a compassionate mother would treat a child who had a mess up, right? So there's a little bit of a mess up energy going on, but like all is well, we move on. So be gentle and kind and loving, and make that part of your daily practice. Throw a few charms over this. Let's see what we got. I always love the charm throwing part. Okay, we've got NEA on top of this Five of Cups. So if those are anybody's initials, we've got a Four of Spades up at the top. We've got an R. So we've got the word near or nears, got an H and a little moon with a crystal on it on top of the Empress and the letter W. So we got the word when. We've got an I here. Okay. Down at the bottom, we have a Z, an E, and an O. And what else? A heart here on top of the hanged woman in the 4th house. So you got to go, this is not a punishment here. This is just being gentle and kind. You got the word easy, right? Go easy on yourself. And I've got the word hire, Hire, the word wire, Wire. So see what else you see. If any of these make sense, I'll put a picture of this at the end too, so you can see what you can make out of it. Now, let me give you a few more power days for you this month, because I gave you some in the beginning, but now let's give you some rolled off the dice that we rolled. Now, you rolled Venus, and Venus rules the sign Taurus, and the moon is in Taurus on the 1st of April on April Fools. And it will be there until 4:26 p.m. So you have some power days there at the end of March from the 30th in the evening until the 1st into 4:26 p.m. Now, you rolled the sign Cancer. The moon goes into Cancer on Thursday the 3rd at 6:50 p.m. It stays there Friday and Saturday and Sunday until 12:34 a.m. You also rolled, well, you rolled Venus. It also rules Libra. The moon goes into Libra on Thursday the 10th at 9:12 p.m. It stays there the 11th and 12th. We have the full moon in Libra on the 12th. This will be a power time for you. Venus actually goes direct that day, and you will continue having power times through to Sunday the 13th at 9:54 a.m. And you get one more round of power days here when the moon moves into Capricorn on Friday the 18th, 10:12 a.m. through the 19th, through the 20th, which is Easter, until 7:22 p.m. And I think that's it, but I do think that the moon goes back into Taurus again the end of the month. So you do get another extra bonus power days on Sunday the 27th, 3:17 a.m. through that new moon in Taurus through the 28th and through the 29th until 2:34 a.m. I hope this helps you. I appreciate you listening. Please comment below and let me know what you think. Have a great month.